The courtroom was unusually quiet that morning. The wooden benches were filled, yet there was a heavy silence in the air, the kind that settles when everyone senses that something important is about to happen. Judge Frank Caprio adjusted his glasses and looked down at the case file in front of him. The number written boldly on the paper caught everyone's attention. Total fine, $25,000. The defendant was called forward. A man in his late 50s slowly walked toward the podium. His clothes were clean but worn, his shoulders slightly hunched, and his eyes showed the exhaustion of someone who had been fighting life for far too long. His name was Michael Turner, a former construction worker who had spent over 30 years working with his hands, building homes for others while quietly losing his own. Judge Caprio looked at him gently and asked, "Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?" Michael swallowed hard. I'm doing my best, Your Honor." The charges were serious. Michael had accumulated multiple unpaid city violations over the last 3 years, driving an unregistered vehicle, repeated parking violations, failure to appear in court. Outstanding penalties related to expired permits. Each violation alone was manageable, but together they formed a mountain of debt. The total had climbed to $25,000, an amount that would crush most people, especially someone like Michael. Judge Caprio leaned forward. "Mr. Turner, this is not a small amount of money. Before we go any further, I want to understand something. Why haven't you been able to take care of these tickets?" Michael hesitated. His hands trembled slightly as he gripped the edge of the podium. "Your Honor, I didn't ignore the court because I didn't care. I ignored it because I was scared." The courtroom became even quieter. Michael took a deep breath and began his story. 3 years earlier, he had fallen from a construction scaffold while working a night shift. The fall shattered his leg and damaged his spine. He was rushed to the hospital, where he stayed for weeks. The injury ended his career overnight. Without steady income, medical bills piled up faster than he could imagine. "I tried to go back to work," he said, his voice cracking. "But I couldn't stand for more than 10 minutes. No one would hire me." With no job, his savings vanished. His car registration expired because he couldn't afford to renew it. Parking tickets followed. Missed court dates followed that. Each missed date added late fees, penalties, and interest, turning hundreds of dollars into tens of thousands. Judge Caprio listened intently, never interrupting. Michael continued, barely holding himself together. "I live in my car now, Your Honor. Some nights I sleep in parking lots. Some nights I don't sleep at all." A murmur spread through the courtroom. Judge Caprio removed his glasses and rubbed his eyes. "You're telling me you're homeless?" "Yes, sir." The judge paused for several seconds, a pause that spoke louder than words. "Mr. Turner," Judge Caprio said softly, "do you have any family?" Michael nodded. "I had a daughter. She passed away 5 years ago from cancer. After that, everything just started falling apart." At that moment, his voice broke completely. Tears streamed down his face, and he turned away, ashamed. Judge Caprio handed him a tissue. "There's nothing to be ashamed of here," he said. "You showed up today. That matters." The prosecutor stood up briefly and acknowledged the seriousness of the violations but admitted that Michael had no criminal intent, only financial hardship. Judge Caprio nodded. "Mr. Turner," he said, "the law exists to keep order, not to destroy lives. A fine is meant to correct behavior, not to bury someone who's already struggling." He looked down at the fine amount again. $25,000. "Let me ask you something," the judge continued. "If I were to make you pay this fine, how would you do it?" Michael shook his head slowly. "I wouldn't be able to, Your Honor. I'd go to jail, and I don't think I'd survive that." The courtroom held its breath. Judge Caprio leaned back, deep in thought. Then he spoke words that would later go viral across the world. "Mr. Turner, justice without compassion is injustice." He turned to the clerk. "I'm going to dismiss the failure to appear penalties. Those fees are removed." Gasps echoed softly. "And I'm reducing the remaining fines." Judge Caprio paused again. "I hereby reduce the total fine from $25,000 to $250. Michael's eyes widened in disbelief. "But," the judge added, raising a finger gently, "I'm not done." The room waited. "I don't want you paying this money instead of eating or finding shelter. So here's what we are going to do." Judge Caprio reached into his pocket, pulled out his wallet, and removed several bills. "I'm paying your fine today." The courtroom erupted. Some people clapped, others wiped away tears. Michael broke down completely. "I don't know how to thank you, Your Honor," he sobbed. "You saved my life." Judge Caprio shook his head. "No, sir. You're going to save your own life. This is just a second chance." He then connected Michael with a city assistance program for housing and medical support. As Michael walked out of the courtroom, shoulders a little straighter, something had changed, not just in his life, but in the hearts of everyone watching. That day, Judge Frank Caprio reminded the world that the strongest form of justice is kindness, and for Michael Turner, A $25,000 fine didn't end his life. It became the moment his life finally began again.